Mixed Tag Show.
The Mixed Tag Show.
With Jenna and Blue.
Damn.
Now, here's your host, Jenna and Blue Magic.
What's going on? It's the Mixed Tag Show with Jenna and jump in anytime here.
Red.
Wrong color.
Sorry, blue.
There you go. All right. How was your week?
Let's sound a little bit enthused. Ask me how my week went. It's an amazing week.
Oh, yeah, you did go to Money in the Bank. How was it?
Oh, that didn't make it amazing, but sure. It was fun. I had a good time, actually. You know when you have one foot out the door and they bring you back in just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit, but I'm still out there. You see, look at my foot. It's still there. What else? What else did I do this week? My Warriors won. They're going to the finals.
Yeah, they are.
Dub Nation. Yee.
There's not much fight from Portland. I mean, I guess in the overtime they did, but yeah.
I mean, listen. Shout out to the Blazers because they did what they could. You know, they had like 15, 20-point leads or whatever, but come the third quarter, without Katie and without DeMarcus.
Yeah, this is not good.
You know, my Warriors still.
And AI.
And Iggy too. My Warriors still overcame.
Don't hit the table. It goes to the mic.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm excited. With that said, we're going to the finals for a 5th straight year. Yes, because I am a Warriors fan and I've been down.
We covered this last week.
Yes, well, I have to always say it. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. But yes, that also made it a fantastic week. I got my cookies. Did you see on my story the cookies?
No.
Yes, you did. So you saw my story. The cookies. I got cookies today.
Yo,
you just didn't pay attention. So you looked, but you didn't really.
It probably
pay
was
attention.
just running when I was watching. I've been catching up on The Sopranos, so I get distracted a lot.
So I watch your stories and like you're one of the few people that I'll watch and just be like, oh,
no. What I'm saying
Blue,
is that
what's Blue
you're
doing
You're
today?
not hearing me. Like, you know how when you're watching a
hearing
story,
you now?
when you watching
I'm
the
not
story,
hearing
right?
you.
It continues
Now I'm not
on, right?
All right. Well, I
probably got distracted from the person before you and didn't
You
realize
always
yours
got an
played
excuse
through.
for something. It's never. Listen,
You said
Jenna, I apologize.
Look, you're asking
know,
me how come my shows like I looked at your stories. I'm telling you why it looks probably happened.
You probably don't pay attention to my life. That's what it is. Anyway, there's a cookie spot called Chips. Super, super like popular in the neighborhood.
Right.
Right. It's like a small little store, like storefront.
Okay.
But the line is always like here. So I got my cookies at like 11 o'clock in the morning. And they always have different flavors. Today's flavor, well, one of today's flavor, because, you know, I'm not a chocolate person, blueberry cheesecake.
Sounds amazing.
Is it? Is it? I got 2, even though I'm on a diet, you know, because they come once like a week. So
right.
I had to get it. I didn't eat it yet. But
So save it.
yeah, you got to heat it up, and then when you break it, and then they had a carrot cake cookie.
I'm not making a carrot cake.
A lot of people in the art, I didn't think it was that weird, but a lot of people come after me and tell me carrot cake is gross. Carrot cake isn't gross.
I'm not a fan of it.
It's amazing. You like carrot cake? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're the man. Are you just telling me that just
No.
No, you really like carrot cake?
It's good. I don't get it. I like zucchini bread too. I don't know.
Really? I never had. But listen, carrot cake?
It's sweet.
I mean,
That man has taste.
I mean, I'm eating it. It's not like I hate it. It's just
No,
like,
some people just
it's not
like,
it's
oh,
not my
gross or
go-to.
whatever. And I'm like,
Nah, it's not my go-to.
What's your go-to?
Cheesecake
Oh, cheesecake.
or red velvet.
Red velvet has like cocoa extract, so there's like chocolate in there.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't like chocolate.
Yeah, no.
That I know everyone thinks it's weird. Whatever. I can't get into chocolate. My cousin one time tried to force me to like it and eat it.
Right.
Couldn't get with it. So sorry.
Sound like you had a great week.
Did I have a good? Besides that, I feel like I'm missing something that was like. No, maybe not. All right. How was your week? Enough about me. What about you?
Thank
what
you.
about you?
I forgot
Tell
that
me
was
about
part
your
of the
week.
show.
I'm sorry. It's not the Mixed Tag Show with Jenna and Jenna. It's Jenna and purple. Did I step on your sneaker? I
Yes,
apologize.
you did.
If it was me, I would have went off.
Yeah, exactly. It was an interesting week. I had a good week. Saturday was like family day.
Was I invited?
No. It was just, we just took the kids out.
It's every time we have this conversation.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
never like, yo, Jenna, come through.
It was taking the kids to the park. Like, you don't have any kids to take to the park.
Yikes.
So, yeah, we was taking the kids to the park. And then it was also Haitian Flag Day. So on Sunday.
I saw your page was like, oh.
Yeah.
Haitian.
On Sunday after church, we went to
Sac passe.
the Haitian Festival in Irvington.
Sac passe.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys say?
So
What does that mean? Like, what's up?
Yeah, it says what's up.
Okay.
So we took the kids to the festival on Sunday. The kids had fun.
Good for them.
Yeah,
Got to know their culture.
exactly. And
Good
then
for
I made shirts for all four of us. We all wore shirts that says it's in my DNA.
Oh, so you can make people shirts when I ask you to do things.
I wasn't even by my computer when you asked me. No, but the funny thing is, I made the design at the store because the guy was gonna take 40 minutes to make it.
You just
I was
whipped it
like,
up real quick.
I was like, nah, let me do it.
Speaking of which, do you want to see the you know how we made the She-Vival shirts?
Yeah.
I made it like a different color.
Oh,
So
nice.
I did it. I did it on Photoshop.
Nice.
Proud of me.
Sure.
Okay.
And then
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
It is about you. Sorry, the way you said sure.
and then we did the
And then I know. I'm kidding.
and then we did the end watch party for Game of Thrones finale.
I don't watch that. So I don't have anything
This
for
is
you.
this is not for you. It was so sad.
Do you want to speak to your fellow Game of Thrones
Yes,
people?
it was
Go
so sad for us as we say farewell. A lot of people was not happy with the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, for me personally, I felt like the season was rushed,
Mm-hmm.
giving us only 6 episodes. But it's over, and we just got we got to wait for the prequels to come out, and hopefully they do good with the prequels.
I'm sorry.
If you want to talk about Game of Thrones, please hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at
Please,
Mixed Tag
hot,
Show.
hot.
Not at Mixed Tag Show, at Blue Magic Grind, because she's not gonna.
Because I'm
She
gonna
doesn't know
actually,
nothing
I'll
at
probably
all.
just delete it to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
So yeah, that was my week. I didn't really do anything extravagant. I leave, today
To where?
to Orlando for the weekend, for graduation.
All right. Well, I guess it's for a good cause.
Yeah, I have to watch Double or Nothing from the graduation.
I want to make someone get me to Vegas this Saturday. I don't even
Have
mind
fun
coming
with
back
that.
home. I just need to go to Vegas so I can go.
Do you have any cookouts on Monday?
No, I don't know people that do cookouts.
If you're having a cookout in Jersey, please let me know. I'm looking for a cookout. To
I was
come
so
crash.
excited because this is the first time in 8 years since I've worked at a specific company that I've been able to have Memorial Day weekend off. The one weekend that I have off,
There's nothing for you to do.
nope. And I waited too late to get tickets to Miami.
Oh.
And that's like $1 million. Every other second, I'm getting notifications. Oh, your flight to Miami is $688. Yeah, okay. You
Nice
know?
shirt.
What?
Nice shirt.
Oh, this whole thing? You know where I got it from?
Where?
The WWE shop. I got that shirt for you, too.
Yes, thank you very much.
Don't say I don't do nice
I had
things
to
for you.
represent today.
I know.
As we
because
get
I
into
feel like
that.
I feel like we're going to have a nice
That's why I'm trying to help you get to this. Because
You ready to...
if you like that shirt she's wearing or the shirt
Don't
that I'm
cut me
wearing,
off. Don't do that. Don't do
head
that,
over
son.
to our
Don't do that.
our page at the Mixed Tag Show.
I
Click in
mean-
the bio or go to our personal at
You're at Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE, or at
Blue Magic Grind, spelled how it sound. Clicking the link. Also clicking the link in the bio of our YouTube. Boop, boop, boop. And use
Blue
that
Magic.
for your shopping needs with WWE Shop. You know what else they could get from our links?
Talk to me.
Collar and elbow.
Yeah.
Head over there and use our code name TMTS, which stands for. I'm gonna give you a chance this
No,
time.
I'm not doing it this week. You do it.
No, 'cause
I
you had-
tried. I
you-
tried last week and
It-
it was no. It's fine. No, it's fine. You go ahead and do it. It's your,
Tiny
it's,
makes
it's your
the-
show.
Tiny makes the show.
Did you think about this or this just came to you?
It just came to me.
All right. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did you? We didn't get to talk about this. Do you know the third sexiest accent that was voted by I don't know who, but the third
I
sexiest
didn't pay attention to that
accent
list.
is a New York accent.
I didn't pay attention to that list.
You know how far Jersey was?
I didn't pay attention to the list.
Jersey was extremely low.
And that's fine. I don't care about sexy accents like from the United States. Like I don't care for that.
But if it was Jersey up there,
I still wouldn't care.
listen, but whatever. So apparently my accent. You know, a lot of people like a New York accent.
That's fine.
They like the way we talk.
And now let's head over to the Mixed Tag Show Fantasy Season 3.
You are very rude.
Yo, we got time. We got a lot to go through. I'm sorry. I'm quarterbacking right now.
I haven't seen you.
We have like three.
All right, let's do it. The Mixed Tag Show fantasy update. So we got the points. I don't have it completely yet, but let's try to figure
Just give this. Just
don't
say
talk to me that way.
Just say
don't
who's in the lead, because we got a lot to go through, and I'm like.
But the guys want to know. They want to know like who's in the lead like for the week. We did that last week, and they didn't. They were like, oh. That's what they said.
They get their overall points.
All right. And the lead for this week is... Hold on. Stop yelling. Mixed Emotions with 316.5 points. Next up, Craig, the Nation of McFly Nation, 270.7 points. It's a lot. That is a lot. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. You put me on the spot. Hold on, I'm sorry.
I try to save you.
I know, I'm sorry.
I try to save you.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, my God. 167 points. We have the Knight Riders. Shout out to Astro. Then up next, we have the McMahon Regime 2.0 at 115.5 points. Then we have, who has 82.5? X3. And last, and certainly not least, Undisputed Art Era with 41.5 points. So still in the lead this week is Mixed Emotion with 2,228.9 points. Second, we have, hold on. Don't yell. Hold on. Second, we have, is it Knight Riders or is it McFly Nation? Hold on. No. We have a new second place person. McFly Nation at 1,877.62 points.
So Astro's in third.
Yes. Astro is in third place with 1,823.75 points. And then the rest doesn't really matter because, it just tails off. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Next up, then we have Saeed with 1,238 points. And then the last two. We got Undisputed Art Era at 970.5 points. And last, and definitely least, X3. Do it better.
I'm sorry, he's at the end. You can't give him too much.
265.06
He's at the end.
points.
Sorry. And that, you guys, is the Mixed Tag Show's Fantasy.
Let me face this way so people can see my face, because this is what sells.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's head over to Money in the Bank results.
Why did you say it like that?
Results.
And you put predictions.
I know. I fixed it on mine. I was like, oh, snap. And then the show started. I was like, ah.
It's okay.
Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus the Usos. This is supposed to be a tag team title match, but for some reason it got changed?
Because the damn Usos are Raw superstars. How the hell you going to go for the SmackDown titles and you're Raw superstars?
And they got the win. Usos got the win with the double Us.
Okay, so the women's Money in the Bank match, right? We had Dana Brooke, Natalya,
Naomi.
Not Alexa Bliss.
No.
Nikki Cross and Naomi versus Bayley.
Ember Moon, Mandy Rose, and Carmella.
You're not going to do that to me. You are not going to do that to me.
You left out mad people.
But you didn't let me finish.
Oh.
I was doing Raw first and then SmackDown.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Watch it. I'm not the one today. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. You want to talk about it?
It was. I felt like it was decent. How did it come out live?
Oh, it was dope. I mean, it wasn't like the best.
Right.
Like the men's match was better.
Yeah.
But the outcome was better.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know about that. We'll talk.
Oh, we'll talk about it. The outcome was definitely better. It was a feel-good moment for Bayley to win. The whole arena popped. I had to mute my video because I didn't want people hearing me, like, flip out.
Right.
And I called it, didn't I?
Yeah.
See, you didn't even put the results. Like, see, man?
You didn't send me what
You
you said.
should have told me. You said, Jenna, give me the whatever. Anyway, but I selected Bayley. Who did you pick?
I picked Amber Moon.
So I was right.
Amber Moon had a good.
Yeah, but like I told you, it made sense when you actually break down the actual match.
Well, yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, I'm just saying though. We're talking about it. Ultimately, it made sense for Bayley to win. It was definitely a feel-good moment. We all couldn't believe it in the sense, like even though that was my pick, you still like, damn, she won.
Yeah.
It was definitely a feel-good moment.
United States Championship: Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe. Rey Mysterio picks up the win. That looked confusing as heck.
I went to go get food. I didn't care. The Miz versus Shane McMahon.
So you not see Joe's shoulders off the mat?
I heard about it. Didn't care. The Miz, like you said, we have to. The Miz versus Shane McMahon. Well, you want to get through the show. This is one of the matches I don't care about. The Miz versus Shane McMahon. Shane won.
Yeah.
Tony Nese versus Daivari.
Did you watch this?
Yes.
They tried their hardest to get the crowd into it, and the crowd wasn't working until the very end. And when Tony did something, and then the crowd finally had some kind of reaction.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was there. I just think this was the moment because how many times since forever that the cruiserweights weren't on the actual main card. So this was the time for you to really show, okay, this is what the cruiserweights were doing, and they both failed at that. So it was a little disappointing in that sense. But overall, Tony retained. Raw Women's Champion. So we're going to put this all together. Mm-hmm. Raw Women's Champion Raw Women and SmackDown Champion Becky Lynch faced off against him on the Raw side. Lacey Evans, Charlotte Flair on the SmackDown side. Obviously, Becky retained. Charlotte came out and defeated Becky for her, what is it, her 9th title reign or is it 10th? 9. 9.
With help from Lacey Evans. And then one of the 4 horsewomen came out to help her friend Becky. Yep.
Then realized, I should cash this in.
Yep.
Cashed it in. And we have a new...
I was scared.
Oh my God! I thought they were. I was like, "Yo, are they gonna have her fail?"
Yo, when she cashed in and went for the elbow, I'm like, "What are you doing? Don't go up there.
Just pin her."
Right.
But she had to pay homage. So yeah, and Bayley won, and again, the crowd reaction was amazing.
I believe it.
Amazing. I mean, you saw it, right?
I knew it was coming.
I didn't because we talked about it last week. I felt like Bayley. Her character, like obviously, and I guess we'll talk about it in SmackDown since you have it there. Her character has moved past the whole I'm a hugger,
right? I'm
naive, I'm happy-go-lucky. Now I'm aggressive. Like still, I'm gonna be positive, but there's more aggression to me, which I like because it shows character development. But with all that said, Bayley's character works when she's chasing, not being the one chased after. So I thought they would have let her hold the briefcase a little bit longer and then eventually cash in. But it was still a great moment regardless.
Yeah, the only reason I peeped it is because they started off with the briefcase match. And that's the same thing they did last year with Alexa Bliss. Is they had it super early so she could cash in later on.
And it was back-to-back, right?
Right, so...
Yeah, I mean, but besides that, besides you even thinking, okay, the placement of each match on the card, it's like when you break it down, it's like regardless, I'm happy with the result.
Right.
But I would have loved to see more growth with Bayley and the briefcase, and at any moment, because then you could have again capitalized on merchandise, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll probably come out with some Bayley merch because it's been a while since she's had her own. But I thought that would have been better, but. It was good, and it came at the expense of Charlotte having yet another title reign, even though it's for...
Yeah, they snuck that in, right?
Snuck it in there.
They snuck it in somehow.
Some way, somehow. She's catching up to her father in a matter of how many years?
3.
3 years?
3, 4? Who's keeping count, right? Roman Reigns versus Elias. Roman won. Universal Championship match. AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins.
It was a very, very good match. Is that the match of the night? That might be the match of the night.
I think so. Even though people were like, I wish AJ would have went over just because of the way that match went. No, just because of the way that match went. Like, that's the first person to kick out, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, to the Styles Clash. And it was just the dopest reversal. And I thought it would have been a perfect ending for both of them because it was both back and forth. And that reversal came out of nowhere.
Well, what does that do for Seth losing the title if you would have hoped AJ won?
He could have gotten a rematch. The way they respect each other, he would have given him a rematch for it. Okay, and then we could have had another dope match out of it and have a little small feud.
But why would then Seth reign was like would it have meant anything?
No, yes, it would have.
If he would have lost the title in his first not his first defense, but on the actual pay-per-view.
And then go back again to win it back later on?
No, we're not going to do that hot potato stuff. No. Let Seth... We've had... This guy, Brock, held the title for 1,000,000 years. Seth finally got it. Let's, let Seth have his reign. And, as one of the top...
It builds towards the reign, though, don't you think? Like, just let them have a nice, dope feud.
We already saw AJ's title reign on SmackDown. It was very.
I'm not saying for him to carry the title. It would have been a nice input to their feud.
It'd be better if Seth retained and AJ still, especially when you were calling for AJ to be a heel, for him to keep challenging Seth for that title, not just flip it immediately.
I don't think they're gonna put AJ back in there right now.
Well, I'm not saying they are, but my point is let Seth have a decent reign.
We agree to disagree. WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens. Kingston won.
That match, I don't care for the match.
After the AJ and Seth match, it kind of like took the air out the building, to be honest.
But we will talk about
they had a decent match when I watched it.
Maybe I have to watch it on TV.
Yeah,
but
you do.
I didn't really care for the match. But the main event, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, we were supposed to have Sami Zayn versus Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin versus Ali, Randy Orton, Andrade, Finn Balor. What did you think?
The match was dope from the start. It was very fast-paced.
The match was fire.
When they took out Sammy, there was some speculation that was going to be Bray Wyatt to jump in and take his slot. That'd have been dope. But we got a swerve at the end. Well,
before we even get into the swerve, just shout out to all the men competitors because I think we always constantly talk about how the women kind of just like have lately they'll perform better than the men, but the men like really did their thing. Like,
they did.
It's been a while since I really like. I mean, I guess AJ and Seth, that was a really good match. But I'm just saying in general, like happy with like the other men competitors. It was a really good match. The spots that Andrade took with Finn off the ladder, and then Finn, all the bumps he took on the different ladders. But Finn, like me and shout out to Saeed because we went together and Joey too. Well, Joey wound up sitting somewhere else, but we were all there in TKO. And shout out to Moxley too.
G was there as well. He was on the camera. He was like,
he hit me up.
He was all over the seat. I'm like watching, like, damn, G.
Yeah,
good seats.
He hit me up. Shout out to G too. But yeah, we were sitting there and we were like, this like dude's back is like shot. Like he can't perform the following night or whatever because like he took so many bumps on his back. And I was impressed by Baron Corbin, and I'll be the first one to crap all over Baron, but I thought he did a phenomenal job. I thought Drew did a good job.
Everybody did very well.
We were so like, what year is this where the crowd was popping for Randy Orton? I was like, what?
Yeah.
What was the different chance? Like, thank you, Randy, or like it was just like, I'm like, is this 2005? Like it was, I don't know. But with all that said, every competitor did well. And go ahead, you can talk about the swerve.
And then the swerve came out where the eighth man came down to the ring, pushed Ali over. Well, pushed the ladder over and hit the cameraman. And then got in the ring and pushed Ali over. And the beast, Brock Lesnar, climbed the ladder and grabbed the briefcase.
So if you notice, everyone in that arena they popped because of like the music, but the end reaction, no one was happy. There was some people, you have your marks. No one was happy with the fact that he won. You laughing, but this is just a prime example of why the product is the way it is. Ali, this is the same argument we had last year, that why are we giving the briefcase to someone that can get the title already, and we're giving it to Brock. I get it. I understand what they're doing. But, again, it's a slap in the face to the guys that put their body on the line, performed a hell of a match, and Brock Lesnar just comes and just steals that moment away from all the competitors. And, again, I'm not saying it's him, because I understand he doesn't do the writing and doesn't book these things, but it's just another situation of Vince being out of touch.
Well, another thing is the people that was competing in the match didn't know Brock was coming back. They just told him.
And that too. So could you only imagine everyone's reaction?
You saw their faces on the camera. They was like, "Yo, are you serious?"
And imagine Ali being like all weekend long, like, "Yo, I'm gonna win the money in the briefcase."
There's talks about that he was told maybe, but then there's also been talks that the Brock thing was done a week ago, and it was like they told him all week, like, "Yo, this is just Ali's gonna be at the top, get pushed over."
Well, yeah.
So we don't know which is which, but
needless to say, if someone put in your ear that you're gonna potentially be the one to win, like there was no other rumored person to win, and then to come to find out this MF is the one to win it.
I like it because it's a big swerve that nobody saw coming.
You like it because you're a Brock Lesnar fan.
No. Of course, because I'm a Brock fan, but at the same time, this is a swerve that nobody saw coming. Nobody saw this coming. It was in nobody's mind that this was happening.
That's fine, but it's if no one saw it coming, if it was someone else. But again, you can't be a hypocrite one year and be like, "Yo, Braun," you can't be a hypocrite and be like one year, "Oh, Braun got the briefcase. He doesn't need it. This is for guys who don't typically get the opportunity to be in a championship match." Someone that just had a championship, just had a champion, just had the belt. Yeah. And you haven't even, this is the whole point that we for the past few weeks, we've been like going back and forth in the sense of why the product isn't flourishing, because we're not pushing other superstars. We keep relying on the same people, and here yet again. Yes, it was a swerve. I get it. Cool. But we're relying on one person, a part-time person, and then for what? Well, again, all these guys busted their ass to perform and put on a really good match just for it to be completely erased by Brock Lesnar. It's not cool. It's not cool. I was in the arena. We were shocked. Yeah, it was a swerve, but it wasn't like, yeah, he won. Everyone hated that, or at least everyone that I was speaking to was like, what is this?
No, and people in my group also just like it. Of course, I'm the only person that was like, everybody loved that it was a swerve. They just didn't like who it was. And I completely understand that people were like, oh, it's Brock, part-time. He can get the title shot anytime he wants to, whatever the case may be. It's not so much, to me, it's different. Brock never won the briefcase. Again, I'm biased, so I'm not, my opinions doesn't really resonate with the.
Yeah, but you can't be so biased in the sense of.
No, but like, again, I get it. I get why people are upset and didn't like it. For me, it was like a combination of, it was a swerve and somebody that I like. Win-win for me. Like, I'm talking about for myself.
Yeah, but you're also a person that is a huge fan of wrestling and have a podcast that
I'm interested by this.
Week in, week out. You're not going to be you're not going to be interested in the total product, right? The product as a whole is suffering. This didn't help. This doesn't help the product. This is not going to get people to tune in every week and think, oh, is this Brock going to cash in?
I mean, the first Monday, we'll see.
In an initial pop, sure, yeah. Once it happens, yeah, people will pop because it's just that's just the reaction you get with the Money in the Bank briefcase cash in or whatever. But this is not going to get people to tune in every week and be like, this is it. Prime example, Chris Jericho.
No, I seen yeah.
Made a joke out of it or whatever. This is how this is going to get WWE over. No, it's not. It's not.
I said the first Monday did pretty good. But anyway, how was your rating?
I gave it a B.
Yeah, I gave it a B. And the people gave it a B. Oh, we all on the same consent.
Are you sure people gave it a B? 'Cause you don't have
Yes, they gave it a B.
it. Okay.
On to Raw.
So, continuing the conversation, Brock and Paul Heyman show up. Yeah, ratings were up because it was a good pay-per-view. It was a good pay-per-view in the sense of, again, the swerve, too, and then also I think with Bayley, even though she's on SmackDown, and Becky, like all this was, it was good. But then you have to capitalize on it, right?
Yeah, and this Raw felt kind of flat on that.
But that's typical WWE, and that goes to my whole point. Yeah, okay, it was a good shock value in the sense of who won, but ultimately you have to capitalize on that. Okay, let's give it to them. Like, let's just give it to them, and that's not what you're doing, right? Not only did it, all right, Paul and Brock and Seth and Kofi started off the show, but then it's like, okay, tag team match. It didn't happen right afterwards, but still, we're going to throw you in a tag team match with the same people that you constantly been fighting. Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley. It's the same thing. There's nothing that's like, okay, innovative.
Right.
You know? Going into the 24/7 title that Mick Foley introduced, it's just like, I think it's a poor excuse to okay, our superstars aren't doing anything. Let's make them all look like fools running around for this title, you know? It's just, and you heard the crowd boo it because it was like, what is this title?
Yeah,
I think that has
a
to be
boxing title.
Yeah, it did.
It looks like a boxing title.
But a boxing title looks better than that. Like a clock that says 24/7, like the hardcore title looked better.
It did.
You know, at least the hardcore title, it I don't know. I wasn't for it.
The only reason I like the 24/7 title I didn't like it when I first heard about it, but now watching it towards like social media and seeing everybody get involved with it, and R-Truth is the perfect person to carry it right now. I'm enjoying what I'm watching on social.
No, I understand, and I think if they play this outright in the sense of then have cameras follow even when it's not Raw or SmackDown, like on an off day, like. You know what I mean?
That's the plan, I think. They say it's going to be defended on social media.
Well, and then hopefully that's the case. But ultimately, it was silly. Yeah. Like, again, I know there's supposed to be elements of entertainment and being funny and what have you in WWE, but I just feel like all of it was super silly. And how do you got to make your titles prestigious. I don't know. I'm not saying this is the title that's going to be, like, for centuries is going to be the golden child or whatever, but just like let titles mean something. Make titles great again.
Okay.
But no, but in all seriousness, right? And this is a point I wanted to make because it's not here. You're introducing a new title. Again, the Iconics won the women's tag team titles from Sasha and Bayley. And you chose to have Lars Sullivan, someone that's been punished because of past comments. You still chose to put him on Money in the Bank for whatever reason because, again, that's not, we got to see Lars Sullivan.
Right.
And then you put the Lucha House Party. For what?
Yeah,
that could have been, if that, especially if it was like a squash type thing, and if that was what you were doing, you could have easily had the Iconics in there versus, especially you were hyping up the Kabuki Warriors, right? So it's just like, when are they going to defend that title? But you're going to introduce another title? So I'm not necessarily for it. Like, all of it, I thought it was silly. R-Truth was cool. But then R-Truth is always going to make, going to put his
the best
of a situation, right? But everyone else that was involved, it looks stupid. Like when Titus won it was just like, it was just really, really stupid, in my opinion. If they can, like you said, defend it on social media and really get others involved.
Right.
Hell, even have women, you know what I mean?
Right.
That'd be kind of cool, but...
I think the women are trying to chase it down. A lot of people are like looking for R-Truth and all that stuff, so it's going to be very interesting. How would you rate Raw?
See, I guess, like, again, it was another episode that I vaguely watched. It was just like, okay, let me see what happens with the whole Seth and Kofi thing, but I didn't care to watch the matches. And then the 24/7 thing, I, like... See
my Brock video?
Huh?
Did you see my Brock video?
Thank you. Like,
did you see my Brock video?
You just got a gif of him doing if you're holding it like a stereo.
But did you hear it?
No, I didn't hear it.
It was Jay-Z playing.
Was JC's on?
Feeling it.
Whatever.
That's how he's bopping to the beat.
Whatever. Like, good job, buddy.
Nigga's hilarious.
Go ahead.
Anyway, I'll match your C, and the people gave it C minus.
Oh, you just know this off the top of your dome. I hope this is right.
No, I put them in while you was doing the points.
Oh, okay. So I'm just out in the blue. Get it in the blue.
Sure. Heading over to the Blue Show, SmackDown Live. We got Big E back with the New Day. Not full time because, he's not supposed to be wrestling or anything like that. But, they got to keep him on TV somehow, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and then we had Heyman tease the cash in.
He's been bugging out on Twitter, which I think is the funniest
Yeah,
thing ever.
he's bored at home. They're like, all right, just come on the road.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this Kingston and Zayn match?
I think, again, like, I was very, like, I watched, but I didn't watch.
To me, it's like, that's twice in a row that a Raw superstar got a shot at the SmackDown title.
Yeah, and it's just, again, and this is my point, and you don't have it here in regards to Elias, but Sammy falls under the same boat. Like, you have him cut these promos. When does Elias or Sammy get their big win?
Yeah.
You're constantly using them as, like, Elias is a joke.
He is.
He's an absolute joke. Like, you legit let that man, like...
He dropped a mixtape.
Regardless of that, you have him look like a complete joke. Like, I don't know if his gimmick... I understand what his gimmick is, but does the man ever win a match?
Right.
Like, because he's a wrestler, right? And as much as I love Roman, and I had this conversation with Astro, like, they're doing too much by putting Roman on both shows. Like, you can't, like... He was booed. He was booed right before the whole thing. He got sick. So now he's back, and most people are like cheering for him and what have you. Don't ruin a good thing.
Your watch about to fall off.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I just opened it because it's like hot in here. I'm a little sweaty, but thank you, sir, for paying attention to my nice watch.
And speaking of Roman,
Go ahead, go off, hater.
I'm a hater for this. I don't care. He's main eventing SmackDown, closing out. I feel like that should have been Sami. That would have been perfect way for Sami Zayn, Kingston to have that match as the closer and have that finish that they had with Ziggler coming out and attacking him and closing out the SmackDown that way. It didn't have to end with Roman. Why does it have to end with Roman? Like, call me a hater if you want to, but to me that makes more sense.
I get what you're saying. I don't mind that. My issue is, why is he on both shows?
And that too. Because
I understand the wild card rule, but there's no reason to have him on both shows. It for what? Again, this is supposed to be your star of the future, but don't overdo it. Yeah. Like, you got excited, he's back. Oh, let's put Roman in this and that. Like, you don't have to put him on both shows. Right. Every so often, okay, but come on. And here's my issue in regards to, well, I guess we'll talk about it with Hot Topics in regards to the wild card rule. Right. But
how did you feel? Ziggler came out of nowhere, attacked Kingston, and said that it was supposed to have been him as champion.
I don't know how it was supposed to be him.
I don't get it either.
But it's nice to see Dolph back. I was reading, I don't know if that was a swerve, but they were saying how the WWE wanted him to be an agent, and he doesn't want it be an agent. He wants to wrestle, so they kind of just let his contract played out. Or maybe it's this goes when we talk about it later in regards to Hot Topics. They need superstars, so I guess they had. Yeah,
that's what I'm about to say right now. Is I guess we say it for Hot Topics. But yeah, like I read the same thing, that he's supposed to be an agent. Mm-hmm. We heard Jim Ross say last week that they signed a mid-card person that could be a top-tier person for half a year, for 5 years, for $500,000 just to sit at home. Apparently this was Ziggler. So just to see him pop up again, I guess we'll bring it up in the Hot Topics, but that's the only reason when they brought him back was because of that reason. So it's not like they have a big plans for him.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's just like, it doesn't have to be that way. Just utilize your talent. Right. And I don't understand why would Ziggler want to be an agent at this point of his career? Exactly. He still has a lot left in him.
He does.
He has all the ability in the world to put on really good matches. So I think that's pretty idiotic. But
we also got the tag team match: Bayley and Becky Lynch versus Charlotte and Lacey Evans.
So here's my thing. Again, I'm very excited that Bayley is the champion, and I was just thinking about all the different possibilities, how you can now get the women's division involved and chasing after Bayley. Like, I thought a perfect storyline would be Bayley versus Carmella, right? Carmella is Bayley's other best friend, right?
Right.
But all Bayley talks about in real life and storyline is Sasha, right?
Right.
Carmella was excited for Bayley to come on to SmackDown to be in a tag team match, right? It's been a while since NXT, and have her feel some type of way. Like, in the beginning, yeah, they're still cool, whatever. Mella turns on Bayley. Boom, you have a feud, a legitimate feud. I think kind of like, obviously not legitimate, but like something that's relatable too.
Right.
I thought Mella did fantastic as a heel, with especially when she was a champion, right? That's now you're elevating other women there. You have Ember Moon that's dying to just really do something. You have someone like Liv Morgan too that can
still haven't showed up on SmackDown.
She still hasn't shown up on SmackDown, and that's a perfect person that you keep as a heel to do something. Like, you have all these endless possibilities. I hate, and that's the thing I hate. As soon as after a pay-per-view and this person won, let's throw them in a tag team match. Yeah. What it should have been was, Becky's on Raw. Bayley's now the champion. You have her, what is it, the coronation of, celebration that she's the champion.
The inflatable 2 minutes.
Exactly. She should have had her moment in that sense, and then have whoever come out needs to
especially for the first Grand Slam champion women.
Exactly. And shout out to Bayley, because she's won the NXT title, Raw Women's title, now the SmackDown, and the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Tag team champion.
The inaugural tag team champion. So shout out to Bayley. In one night, her career got
skyrocketed?
No, losing my train of thought. Was revitalized. Her career was revitalized. So shout out to Bayley. It was a very, very feel-good moment for her.
One more thing I would say about it, they need to keep Charlotte and Lacey Evans apart, because they're a little bit too similar. And now there's people going to start calling Lacey Evans Charlotte Jr.
I mean, Becky already planted that seed out there.
So they need to keep those. She don't need to be a wild card on SmackDown.
She didn't need to be a wild card in SmackDown, and I didn't. Again, going back to hate when after a pay-per-view you just throw people into tag team. If you want to continue the feud with Lacey, because I'm on board for Lacey, I honestly am. Then you could have continued that onto Raw. It was no need for that to continue into SmackDown.
I'm not on board with her yet. How would you rate SmackDown? That match, I wasn't a big fan of that match.
But her gimmick, she has. But you also have to understand when she was on NXT, she wasn't having that many matches.
She wasn't.
She's
not ready.
They called her up, but whatever. They called her up, and she didn't have a match until Royal Rumble, and that wasn't really good. And then she had a couple of matches before this one, Money in the Bank. But so that's someone that hasn't really been able to really showcase her stuff. But her character is very strong.
Her character is cool, but again, I'm not a fan. I'm an in-ring kind of person, so I'm not a big fan of her in-ring. I was, like you said, she didn't have that many matches in NXT.
I mean, I'm sure you're not there's gimmicks that you like, that you're for, that doesn't necessarily, they're not the strongest in-ring competitor.
Yeah, but if you're challenging for the main title and you're trying to be in the top tier, I need you to be able to do something. Like Miz, it took Miz a while, but Miz caught on. And when Miz caught on, I saw it immediately.
Yeah, but not everyone is gonna be Sasha Banks or Charlotte Flair or whoever in the ring, right?
I get that, but at the same time,
it can't be the same people.
I understand that, but at least I'm not a fan of it. That's just me. I'm not saying you got to be top 5 in the ring to go for the title, but she's not even top 3, like 3 stars. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. How would you rate SmackDown?
Yikes, nasties. B minus B, something like that. I guess
I give it an A. And people gave it A minus. Hot topics. Former WWE diva Ashley Morasso passed away at the age of 39.
Massaro?
Sorry. And I practiced that before the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, Massaro. Sorry about that. Reports are stating that she passed away from suicide. We just wanted to share with the people. If you or anyone you know is battling depression, talk to someone. Here's the suicide hotline number, 1-800-273-8255. Also wanted to give a shout out to one of our listeners, Adrian Johnson. I don't know if you've seen his post on Instagram that he tagged us to.
No, I didn't get the chance.
Yeah, he talked about his depression and how he almost committed suicide. And he just, from not graduating from high school and have to take extra classes and stuff like that. And he just wanted to come out and say that he overcame it. And even though it's hard, he still battles with it, but he knows that it's a better way of living. So I just wanted to shout out to him, Adrian Johnson _wrestling on Instagram.
And then in all facets of life, but especially like with wrestling, right? People don't realize like this. I don't know if that had anything to do with her like depression and what have you, but just you see, and now more so than ever, right? With just people being unhappy in their profession, and then you get to the bright lights of WWE, and then it's not what it seems like, and you're always on the road and you're doing this, but you're not necessarily. It's not fulfilling, right? Or just any job in general, like, right? You thought it would be this, or your life would be different, and it's not. Mental health is like real, right? Like we all, I think, get depressed or get down, and you have to catch yourself, right? Because you can easily just sink yourself into a hole. So
exactly.
Our condolences, and we didn't get the chance last week. I forgot to mention, rest in peace to Silver King.
Exactly.
He passed away in the ring. He had a match. I forgot who it was.
Juventud Guerrera.
Yeah. Rest in peace to him as well.
I know you wanted to talk of some other things before we jumped into my side of the world.
Ruby Riott injury update. So she's been off of TV for a while, but she's been fighting in live events. So apparently she posted on Instagram, and then WWE.com mentioned that she had shoulder surgery, and she has to have one more. So we wish Ruby a speedy recovery, and I guess now that makes sense as to why she really hasn't been used.
Right.
I know I read somewhere about Alexa Bliss too. I don't know if it was for precaution reasons or she did suffer a concussion, but that was one of the reasons why she got pulled. And if you notice too, this on Raw, right? She was in the match but didn't actually wrestle.
Right.
So that was one thing. But she said, someone mentioned to her on Twitter, like, her career is done, and she said, my career is just fine. So maybe it's just, again, to be cautious in that sense. So, yeah. Also, the reaction towards the wild card rule, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, those backstage do not seem to be a fan of this new rule. They wouldn't hate it so much if it was just one superstar night. It goes back to what I was saying previously. I agree, because again, it's like it's too many of the same people going over to
each other's shows,
right? And then it goes back to the whole 24/7 rule thing. Now it's just like free for all, right? Everyone can essentially go back and forth. So it's not actually a brand split. I think it's chaotic. I don't think it's well thought out. I think that, again, the same people are showing up on the same shows, and again, it's limiting other superstars from having their spot on TV. Right? There's no reason why, I'm not the biggest fan of Apollo Crews, but Apollo was on SmackDown just to say, said 2 or 3 words, looking for our truth, basically. And then how you had the club.
Yeah.
Like EC3, it's silly, It goes back to what I said, and with the Brock Lesnar thing, you have ultimately all these stars. Utilize the stars, build up your stars now. So when it comes to going to Fox in the fall, you have already your stars set, and you don't need to rely on Brock Lesnar. You don't have to rely on Roman going to Raw and SmackDown. You don't have to rely and bring AJ. Ronda back. So it's just I can see why the superstars don't like it, because it's the same thing.
Right.
No one is. People are not getting opportunities.
Yeah. Ready to go to the next topic?
That was all I have for you, buddy.
Thanks. Got some good ones. I forgot. Had a long day. Cody Rhodes addressed some previous concerns with AEW. Might want to take your jacket off.
It goes with my look.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and suffer. AEW will cover. Listen to this. AEW will cover 100% of expenses for injuries, rehab, and recovery for their superstars or wrestlers. The wrestlers will have freedom of expression as well. No micromanagement in AEW.
Like I said, all this is good. I'm excited for it, but we'll see, right? We'll see how things
pan out.
I
mean, we had we'll talk about it in terms of like creative differences and stuff like that. Young Bucks say AEW could have been avoided by both Ring of Honor and New Japan if they were valued.
Interesting.
The Young Bucks, Nick says that New Japan and Ring of Honor didn't want to offer them a dual contract as they suggested to them. Mm-hmm. He claims that New Japan never saw value in them and they never got paid well from New Japan. I don't know if you want to read the quote or if you want me to do it.
We would have had to work with New Japan for another 2 decades to even get close to retire, and the style they demand is backbreaking. Ring of Honor paid us a lot better than New Japan. We could have probably retired there, but we would have to work probably another decade with them. We pitched it to both of them. Why don't you guys get us a dual contract? And they just didn't get it done. We'd have easily stayed, and there would have never been an all-elite wrestling if they would have met what we wanted, but it didn't get done. I understand the whole situation about their pay. I find it, but the choice of words in the sense of they didn't value them. I mean, they were featured a lot, right, in New Japan and Ring of Honor. So in that instance, I believe they were definitely valued.
Right.
But ultimately, it comes down to dollars, right?
Right.
So.
And again, that's crazy that, again, it's the money that could have avoided all of this.
But who knows how much is these promotions? How much do they actually have? They're not.
New Japan makes a lot.
Yes, but are they a $1 billion company like WWE?
No, but I'm not thinking that they're trying to break their backs for it as well. Like, because remember when they was talking about it when the Bullet Club broke up, they didn't really get money off the Bullet Club T-shirts.
Yeah.
Like New Japan owns that trademark and they was making money. Excuse me. I'm not sure if how they changed up the contracts recently for Bullet Club or whatever, but. Yeah. So.
Well, all these promotions not valuing their wrestlers and their talent,
Creating new avenues.
Yep.
Speaking of AEW, for Double or Nothing, Pac versus Hangman has been canceled. Match was pulled due to creative differences.
Boo.
But Paige flew out to England to face Pac at Dragon
like
Gate.
The Arthur meme,
Yeah, the fist. Match has already been posted free on YouTube right now between the two. It ended up in, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But Paige is set to have a new opponent at Double or Nothing. The reason why those creative differences is because Pac didn't want to lose.
Yeah, to Hangman.
No, not to Hangman. So apparently, according to Dave, Uncle Dave, he was supposed to lose to Hangman, but the next person he's supposed to wrestle was going to be Kenny Omega, and he didn't want to lose against Kenny Omega. So the storyline.
That was it?
Huh?
That was the case? I was hearing because of Hangman. He didn't want to lose to Hangman.
Nah, I think it was the follow-up match to
You
Kenny.
think, or that's what they said?
No, that's what Uncle Dave said. Uncle Dave is like right next to them. But he said that they didn't want to set up that match because Pac right now hasn't lost since he got the title at Dragon Gate, and he wants to keep that title, that prestige. So that's why they had their match over in England, and AEW felt they have an open-ended storyline by having it there and placing it on theirs. So
is this a situation where someone's ego is a little too big, or do you agree with that he didn't want to drop it to Kenny if that's the case? I can understand not dropping it to Hangman because he has to be built up,
right?
But with Kenny, that's prestigious in its own right.
Not so much because again he's coming from a situation where.
Yes,
he wasn't happy, right? So
yeah, but
his thing is that he wanted to protect not him only himself, but the title that he's holding. So he doesn't want to, because the WWE does this. A lot of promotion does this. They don't want their top champion losing to somebody else outside of their promotion. So it's kind of the same thing, and this is why AEW kind of understood it. They were trying to find different ways to fix it. They couldn't. They found this way where they sent Paige out to England to have the match. So I feel like I understood both sides, and I feel like they're also understood on both sides because they're still looking forward to working with each other. It's not like they burnt bridges or anything like that. So,
well, I mean, regardless of the fact that is that a red flag in the sense? Just because, I mean, it's a new company, so you're going to have your bumps and bruises along the way. But this is something to monitor closely, right? Just because if you're having creative differences already, and especially, I know we mentioned last week, Cody said that the WWE is not, they're not looking to compete with WWE. But ultimately, yes, you have to look to compete with the WWE because this is the time to do so, because the way the ratings and just the product in general has been very lackluster. So you want to capitalize on that.
Right.
So that's just something to follow closely as we get closer to the TV premiere. I
definitely agree with that. Speaking of, Double or Nothing is set for this Saturday, which we spoke about earlier, and I will be at the graduation watching it on my phone until I meet the finals later on that night. The pre-show is called The Buy-In. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and on Bleacher Report Live. The card for the pre-show is going to be Kip Sabian versus Sammy Guevara. And there's also a 21-man casino battle royal. The person that wins that match will be a number one contender for
that had my attention. You see how my eyes
Yes.
You know how I feel about battle royals.
Yes.
Speaking of which, going back to the whole Carmella and Bayley thing, wouldn't it? Did she or did she not win the women's WrestleMania battle royal this year?
She did.
So,
shouldn't
she get a title opportunity?
Two different promotions.
Give me something.
I don't know.
Give me something. You boo, laugh, and boo what I just said.
I didn't know which way to go with it. No, I'm talking about the whole thing with them dropping the ball.
Just continue.
Whatever.
You were supposed to have my back, and
I didn't know which way to go.
Continue.
But yeah, that would be another contender match. The pay-per-view starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. Aja Khan, Yakuna Sakazi, and Emi Sakura is versus Hakura Shadia, Ryo, and Rai Mazimi. It was a 6-woman tag match. Dr. Britt Baker versus Kylie Ray versus Nyla Rose is a triple threat match. Best Friends versus Angelico and Jack Evans is a tag team match. SoCal Uncensored versus Seema, T-Hawk, and El Linda. They all come from, I think it's OVE, I believe.
El Linda, man?
Yeah.
You said El Linda. Go ahead. Hangman versus Mystery Opponent. Who do you think?
See, here's the thing. Hangman versus Mystery Opponent. I originally thought, by the way, shout out to Sean Spear. He will be a part of that 21-man casino battle. He seems excited.
FKA Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10. Everybody's excited for that.
That was dope, his picture.
Right.
On Instagram with the
cards.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was going to be, this is their chance to use
John Moxley.
Yes. But I'm just going to jump something real quick. Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho is also the number one contender match. So whoever wins the Battle Royal is going to face the winner of that match to crown a new AEW champion. Mm-hmm. So now I feel like John Moxley's going to jump into the 21-man Battle Royal and possibly win to set off a match of John Moxley versus Kenny Omega or Chris Jericho. So
it's funny. No, I'm thinking like as we're talking about this, I cannot believe Chris Jericho is not with the WWE.
Right, and he's not happy. And he's like taking shots from across the way.
Crazy.
And the mystery opponent, I originally thought it was gonna be John Moxley, but when they made this announcement before we started the show, it was just like, all right.
Yeah, well, we'll see it. It's very.
There's a lot of people out there right now.
Yeah.
Tama Tonga already threw his name in the ring. He wants to face Hangman Page.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we got some unfinished business on the Bullet Club level. Mm-hmm. Why not? That'd be fire. I mean, he's going to be at StarCast.
Mm-hmm.
So.
They're all cool, right?
Yeah. Cody versus Dustin Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
This is a match I'm actually excited for. I don't know if you ever got a chance to watch the promos. Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for that. The Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros for the AAA tag titles.
Mm-hmm.
Lucha Bros are always delivering. So
I find it weird though that we don't have other titles, yet for.
Oh, AEW?
Yeah.
I think it's giving them time because again, their first premiere show is not till October 1st.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a big event like this to introduce some of this stuff?
Well, they still have another event. They have a few events. They have All or Nothing 2 that's happening in September.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't officially announce it yet, but
All or Nothing too.
So no, all in too.
Well, you just gave them another pay-per-view name. You better trademark that.
All or Nothing, Double or Nothing, whatever.
You gave them a pay-per-view name.
Right.
Sign this man.
But yeah, All In 2 is supposed to happen in September. So I feel like they still got time to introduce tag team titles, secondary titles, women titles, 6-man tag, whatever they decide to go. They have time.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. AJ Styles' new contract will be his last. You have a quote here. I can tell you that this contract that I've signed is my last. This is the perfect place for me to be. It's family-oriented. I have no problem taking my family to the shows. It's a PG product, which I enjoy. I'm in the best place I can be for my career. What do you think about that comment?
I feel like this is like him saying, like, all right, after I finish this, I'll look at everything else, and I don't have to be part-time, like full-time, because AEW is offering less of a schedule. Also, Double or Nothing is TV 14, so that's going to be interesting. I just feel like he just said the right things as a company guy.
I thought the same thing.
As a company guy.
I think AJ wants to, at this point of his career, like kind of just...
Right, because even with the wild card, he kind of defended in that same interview. Where he's like, no, they didn't really explain all the rules to us yet, but we'll see how it goes as we go along.
Well, what I mean is, like, I feel like at this point in AJ's career, like he's done with like traveling,
right?
Overseas, like, and being away from his family. I know he definitely mentioned that in one of those documentaries WWE had. So, yeah.
We also mentioned this earlier. Raw ratings are up. Raw ratings are a higher mark for the show in 5 weeks. Demos average 0.88 rating, which is the best since April 15th episode.
Well, I think it's because it had a lot to do with Money in the Bank. And it just goes to when you put on a good show, people are going to tune in and see, oh, this happened, that happened, all these surprises, what's going to happen next. But then again, it's up for you to capitalize on that, right?
Right.
So, and they didn't do that necessarily. So, we didn't talk about it too, and I don't know if any of the dirt sheets mentioned it. Did you notice in the third hour how they dimmed the lights?
No.
You didn't notice that?
You talking about on Raw?
Yeah.
No.
The lights were dim, like back in the day, like for like
how
NXT,
we spoke about it last week.
How exactly? Someone's listening. They're listening.
I told you they listen to the
listening.
show.
Anyway, no, but seriously, in NXT, like how they do it in NXT, or like back in the day with like the Raw's War Zone, how they used to dim the lights. That's exactly what they did, and I like it. But it has to. I think they didn't dim the lights because the lights were still glaring, but like
the crowd.
No, not the crowd. The screen, like it didn't have like that raw, Titantron thing, like how it stands out and it's super bright. That was dim. It was black. You didn't notice that?
No. I wasn't.
Yeah,
it was one of those things that was like picture, like I'm going to.
Well, yeah, they did that, and I like that because, and I think they should work on that even more because again, it just makes it like we mentioned last week. Just it's a more intimate vibe, and it puts the focus on the wrestlers, not the attraction of Monday Night Raw.
So it goes into the question of the night: do you feel like WWE can turn it around with AEW in the mix?
I think they can. It's just you have to stop being stubborn. Stop changing the script 2 seconds before the show start and actually letting your creative team write something that can help push the superstars you have. Like granted, AEW signing all these people, and then you have the other promotions, but you still have a lot of the top superstars or wrestlers in the world.
Right.
There's no reason why the talent that you have, you can't put on a better show. And it's a $1 billion company. You have the resources. Yes, you have Tony Khan, who is also a billionaire, but you also have sponsors, this and that and the third. So you have a lot of resources that you can utilize. AEW doesn't necessarily have that yet.
Right.
They have a lot of things going for them right off the bat without even an actual show premiering, but you still have that upper hand. Like, you're still here.
Right.
And they have to overcome that. But it has to be someone that says, you know what, enough is enough. Like, Vince, we understand. This is your company. This is your baby. But it's time to let younger people be involved and bring creative ideas and stop being irrational and erratic and like, oh, let's change this or have a meeting to do this or and this like toxic, locker room situation, right? You have and I don't know, you didn't mention this either, but they just had a meeting not too long ago, and then they mentioned about AEW. So you had a meeting to rally the troops. So okay, now you're rallying the troops. Now let's put that in action and do something about it. So yes, I do agree that they can change it, but do I believe it? No, but I do believe they can change it.
I do think that WWE have a shot. I feel like when Vince has his back against the wall, he always finds a way.
Does he?
Well, when it comes to with high competition, yeah, I feel like because look, he survived WCW.
He survived WCW when he was like what in his 40s,
right,
50s, 40s, I guess, and he was
50s, right, about 20 years ago.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I just feel like Vince knows. I don't know why. The guy never sleeps. Did you see his video with Becky Lynch and how red his eyes are and how much bags are? He's not sleeping right now. Dealing with WWE and XFL, he's not sleeping right now.
And that's the problem that he's not sleeping. Like, listen, like that's on you. Like I don't feel sorry. This is you built this. You're successful for a reason, right?
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like he'll find a way.
I don't have faith in him.
I have even if he decides like, all right, maybe I should pass this on and let somebody else handle this while I focus on XFL. I feel like they will find a way to stay relevant. They're a $1 billion company. He's not gonna.
It's not gonna. WWE is not gonna ever not be relevant. But in regards to like being the only company, like being a monopoly, and just having
right now they have
control.
They have a little. It's not gonna be another Monday Night Wars. Not right now. Maybe in 2 years. Maybe in 3 years. But I feel like they're paying attention enough to not drop the ball too much. And that's why I said they have a chance to turn it around. It's not completely out their reach.
Are they paying attention though?
If they're putting out if they're trying to bring in new ideas, I think they are. I just think that they're going about it differently and they're trying different ideas. Eventually, they're going to find what works.
I just don't understand how. And we talked about this last week, and we talk about it all the time. How you sit there and like, I'm sure you have like meetings, like weekly meetings on what you're gonna do and how you're gonna execute stuff, and just you're so like oblivious to how to get the product to work. It goes back down to the whole, let's bring Brock in, but you know that people are not. You know what I mean? Are not tuning in to see Brock. Yes, I understand you and other people are Brock fans, whatever, so you're biased to the situation. But when you actually look at the situation, that's not what we want, right? And then I know everyone was saying, like, they're going to take this off of Kofi and have Brock win this. People going to be pissed.
I feel like the ratings went up a little bit because of Brock Lesnar's winning and the Money in the Bank.
I don't think that it wasn't solely because of him.
I'm not saying, but that helped the ratings. That's my point. I'm not saying it's solely because of him, but that helped the ratings. They want to see what happens next with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is a draw. Whether it's WWE, whether it's MMA. That's why they both always fight for Brock. He brings in people to watch.
But for over the course of since he's been here, he hasn't brought up ratings. When they promote and say he's going to be on whatever week or this week or what have you, people don't tune in and be like, oh, Brock is here. This, yes, because this was a swerve. Yes, I agree. But ultimately, you tell me in 2 weeks from now they announce that Brock is going to be on the show.
They're announcing it for next week. Let's see what happens.
Chances are the ratings will drop from this week just because it was a pay-per-view and everything that happened. Chances are that it'll drop next week.
We'll see what happens. I think Brock actually helps bring in numbers, in my opinion. Not because I'm a Brock guy, but I just feel like, again, this is why both companies fight so validly. This is why they spend so much money on the guy.
But you said in your opinion, but facts have shown that the ratings aren't good, aren't up to par. So that's a moot point.
So you've gone back and seen that when Brock is on the show, the ratings decline.
You look at how many times we've posted in Hot Topics that you've seen
Brock
that's
is not there.
But when he, for example, when WrestleMania, when they bring him on, ratings did not go up. You know that. We talk about it on Hot Topics. Ratings have not gone up. They have struggled. They have struggled.
Yes.
You know that it's struggled.
I want to do some homework and see how that works.
You go back to our past notes where we discussed about Raw viewership. Episode that he's been on, it does not increase. It has not increased. At this point, people are over it. Yes, again, this was shock value. Shock value typically does that, but it's not going to go up even more.
Should we do a poll on this on our Instagram story?
You can do a poll you want, but the fact of the matter is,
I'm just pitching idea.
Okay, I'm saying you can do what you want, but what I'm saying is the fact of the matter is that the numbers don't lie. And if we see that the Raw viewership has declined over the past few months or what have you, episodes when he's on and not on, it hasn't tipped the scale. Clearly, it's not working. It's the same thing when them bringing Goldberg or Undertaker or Cena but just in general, Brock falls under that realm of we don't want to see part-timers, we want to see new, fresh stars. We have this conversation every week. We both agree that we want to see newer stars to be pushed.
Course.
That this is not pushing a new star. So ultimately what it is, once he cashes in his briefcase on Seth or Kofi, he's probably going to be Kofi. He's going to have a chokehold on the title. He's not going to lose. He's going to have a chokehold on that title, and it's going to be the same thing that we've been watching on Raw, on SmackDown. And Fox ultimately wants stars on their show. So if Brock is not going to be on the show regularly, what is that doing for the product, and what is that doing for SmackDown? Not a damn thing.
Well, hopefully we'll see what the contract says, because he said, I'm back. Let's see what happens.
Whatever.
That's the show. Remember, if you want to cop these nice products that we have on right now.
Well, not products. We mean shirts, because technically they can't get this jacket. They can't get your chain.
Right.
They can't get
Okay, Mrs. Literal.
I'm just saying.
If you want to cop one of these shirts that you see us wearing, head over to the Mixed
People
Tag
might
Show
misconstrue and think,
click on the
you're
WWE
saying
shop
this,
link, or
and
go
then
to our
we're in
personal
trouble because at Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE,
or at Blue Magic Grind, spell how it sound.
And we're in trouble.
Also in our YouTube link in the bio, you can click on that right there.
Wasn't
also, shout out to Collar and Elbow.
And then
use our code name. They may, they say.
TMTS, the Mixed Tag Show. That is what it stands for.
Right.
Okay.
And on that note, I bid you. Should we tell them what happens next week, or should we just wait till next week?
What? What?
Next week. And on that note.
No, seriously, what? What happens next week?
Give us a second, guys.
I'm so confused.
I know.
So then why would you want me to tell someone something I don't know?
I thought you would catch on.
Oh, next week.
We'll tell next week.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Tune in next week for an episode where we are bringing you something, sharing info with you guys.
Next week, we're going to
share some info.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Why are you making it sound so difficult?
No, because what are you saying to me?
I said, did you want to tell them next week that we have an announcement to make?
And on that note,
I bid you adieu. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
Good night.
Good night.
It was goodbye.
Goodbye and good night.
Did you say goodbye?
Yeah.
It's the Mixed Tag Show. The Mixed Tag Show. With Jenna and Blue. Damn.
Hey, did you like this episode? Like, comment, subscribe, and share this with your friends. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages at The Mixed Tag Show.